So I've had quite a few requests to make class guides, specifically the Blade Dancer. Now this is pretty easy, so I'm going to give you guys a very quick Blade Dancer class guide. You just want to play your banjo, just like that. Hit him with a fiddly, diddly, and then stealth.
And then that shit up.
I'm just kidding, please do not follow this guide. No, but a lot of people have been requesting that I make guides, and as I said in one of my previous videos, I'm not really the class guide kind of guy anymore, unless I am 150%, scratch that, 200% confident in my PvP and class teaching abilities. There will not be any. Do I know my rotation? A little bit, but they fucked up so many different classes in this game. Now wait, before any of you get upset, I say that, but they've also made a lot of classes more viable, so in a way I'm happy, but I'm upset. There are certain classes that I used to play back in the day. Shadowblade, Executioner. Now when I play Shadowblade, I'm like, what the hell is this? And then I tried Executioner and it's like, it's just not the same. Blade Dancer is a class that I've tried back in the day. Wasn't the most viable thing in the world. I'd say out of Executioner, Shadowblade, and Blade Dancer was the least played. And also most people looked at it and said, what the fuck are you doing? Now, I find, personally, like I said, I find Blade Dancer to be the most fun, to be the most useful out of those three classes. I'm just not doing PvP because, to be honest guys, I'm just not ready. I'm just kidding, look at this shit, look at that. Okay, in all honesty, those guys probably killed me shortly after. Thing is, in some of the major PvP that I've gotten to, I click on most of the people in the raid and everyone is over 10k. And here I am with my 7k ass, thinking I'm going to do something, but I'm getting swatted like a fly. But yeah, I'm just not ready for PvP. Absolutely not. This is a very gear-based game. That's the reality of it. But maybe we'll do a video where I just queue up for balanced arenas. Okay, let's move on to the gear. Okay, so let's go over my recent progress in ArcheAge. Last time we spoke, I believe I was almost at 6k gear score, and it was that night that I hit 6.1k gear score, and I was like, ah, damn, why didn't I record this after I hit 6k? Anyway, here we are at 7k gear score. Oh my god. We are 1 month back into ArcheAge, and this is the progress that I've made. As you guys can see, I now have an epic buff. Yes, that means I have a big no, but there's actually a lot of new stuff here. There's a lot of new things that I've obtained since the last time. I know I told you guys going a full set is way too expensive and would take me way too long. So I'm just gonna go 3-piece for now. Yeah, well, that's the old me and the more broke me. The new me wants to go 5-piece library and 2-piece Haram. Now I know, there are some people upset that I'm mixing library and Haram, more so upset because I'm even going library in the first place. And to that I want to say, let me find it real quick. Yes, a famous quote from George Washington. I'ma do me while you do you. Also known as, don't worry about it. Welcome to a game where you can play whatever the fuck you want. This game has over 120 classes. I mean, it used to like advertise itself as that, but now they've added a new skill tree, which adds even more, so I don't know, what is it, 150 plus? In this game, you can play whatever you want. You can be a class that doesn't revolve around plate, but wear plate. Especially with the new Haram gear, this allows you to put stats that your normal type of gear wouldn't have. And this is why we have a bunch of plate mages running around, because they have intelligence into their plate gear. So right now we are in a tanky meta. Most people are going plate. Even DPS classes like Dark Runners are wearing plate. And it's another reason why people say don't go Nadachi. If you're going to go two-hander, most recommend you use a Great Axe. But again, in a game where I can play anything and there's so many different options, I'm still going to play a Nadachi. So is my build the best for the current meta? No, it's not. But sometimes the meta changes in these games and you never know. They could nerf this shit to the ground and I'm still going to play it. So what I've obtained so far is I did get 4 out of 5 pieces of the library gear. The last piece that I'm missing is a belt, because the belt that I have right here, this is 2+ years old. One of the downsides to library is that it doesn't focus fully on strength, the main stat that my classes use. It also has stamina. Some of the library pieces have agility, but I believe all the pieces that I'm equipping, they all have a combination of strength and stamina. Do I recommend you go library? As I said in the last video, it's much more expensive. I've had a lot of people whisper me and ask me, why library gear? Is it faster? Yes, it's faster if you have the gold, because you can farm a lot of gear to feed it within a day. You can run Mist Song Dungeon, but the main way is Abyssal, the dungeon where you get this gear. Getting some of the drops from this dungeon is super hard, because I've ran this at least 60+ times and I have not seen a belt, nor have I seen pants. The way that I've obtained these was by the Mist Song Dungeon, which I see these pieces much more. Probably a higher drop rate on these items, and what you do is you feed it just like you do Haram gear, but you have to awaken it as well, just like Haram gear. So instead of you just feeding the library gear and it getting epic or whatever, You actually have to feed it until it's legendary, and then you awaken it. This is a very annoying process, but it's a lot more straightforward. But again, I don't recommend it because it's much more expensive. If you don't have a good money-making method or you're not making a lot of gold in this game, I just don't do it. On top of that, most people will probably be up your ass and say, why are you doing this? For your class, it's much better to go Hiram. Even for me, this is most likely true, but I'm happy with it, so, you know, whatever. I got the 2 Hiram pieces that I want, my guards, which are now brilliant, tier 3, and my boots, which are tier 2. I just got these divine before the video. I've also been gemming my gear, so you can see my helmet is fully gemmed. My chest piece is going for resilience. My belt, let's not worry about that, that's 2 years old. Nothing in my guards. My fists are going focus. A lot of people go evasion or they go parry. Well, Cryy goes focus. For my pants, I like to have toughness. I like to be as hard as I can be, you know, hard as a rock. For my boots, I don't even know what to put in my boots. I'm gonna find out. One thing you can do to find out what to gem your gear with is you can always go to the rankings and get an idea from some of these top players. Just see what they're wearing. Some of them might be having, you know, 20k gems in their gear. Okay, we know that dream is far-fetched, but you know, just to get an idea. My accessories for the most part are still the same. They're still shit. I also got an instrument with the stats that I want. Put some jewels in that thing for extra attack speed, and I got it divine. Now this is tier 3. And the last thing I need is a bow, and this is actually very, very important because I'll be able to put crit gems into my bow. My costume is still the same as it was, heroic melee costume. Doesn't have the exact stats, but when I got this costume I wasn't really aware of all that, so I will work on this eventually, but I didn't have underwear. My guild helped make this for me. I was actually kind of upset that this doesn't have gear score. I'm obsessed with my gear score going up, and I'm like, why doesn't the costume have that? Like, this thing offers 400 defense. You're telling me this doesn't boost my gear score? So yeah, we hit 7k gear score in about a month. Do I think you can do it? Yes, I do. Your progress definitely comes down to RNG because I failed my boots I think 7 different times just to get tier 2. If that's not bad luck, I don't know what is. I can't get this Nadachi pass plus 18. I've failed these guards so many times. However, my loot went straight up. So it does come down to awakening that can hold you back quite a bit. I even failed on one of these library pieces when it starts off with a 30% chance. So if you're lucky, then you'll be able to awaken your gear much faster. If you're not lucky, well then gear might take quite a bit. Another thing that I've done recently is I've got 4 different pajama pieces. You can obtain these with Gilda stars or you can get them with vocation. There might be another way. These are good because if you own a house, you can sleep in your bed and you can wear the pajamas. My dumbass earlier slept in my bed but did not wear the pajamas. Pajamas? Do any of you call them pajamas? Oh. I feel like someone's always triggered with the way I say stuff. So as far as goals for the next video or the next progress update video, the goal is to be as close to 10k as possible. For anyone wondering about this red, sexy as fuck Nadachi, it's the Berserk Red Dragon Wing Reaper skin that is imaged to a tier 3 Hiram Nadachi. My friend was letting me borrow this skin until he got his Nadachi, but with this thing being so sexy, I just gotta buy it off him. Now I know some of you are confused on how to make gold. Well, I leave that to you to find out, whether it be fishing, coin purses, robbing people. But I do have an idea to bring a daily gold making guide to you guys. So this will be showing you all the different things you can do daily that reset that can get you a bit of gold, because there's quite a few things you can do, and before you know it, you'll have thousands of gold in your inventory. I hope you enjoyed this update. You know, I know not everyone's interested in how far I've come, but I'm hoping that this can show you guys about the amount of progress you can make within this time. I'm hoping to look back in like 3 months and be like, oh, look at me, I'm 11, 12k gear score. So with that being said, guys, I hope all is well, and I'd like to know how far you guys have made it within a month or just a couple weeks back in ArcheAge. Let me know in the comments section and I will catch you guys in the next video. See you soon, friends. Anyone on server Kadum, I am looking for healers and DPS that want to run the Abyssal Library dungeon, or Mist, because I have friends that I run these dungeons with, but they're not always available. And I play at random times, could be in the morning, could be at night, it depends on how much work I have to do. So because of this, I'm looking for different players of different time zones. Not saying you have to wait for me, but it would be nice to have people to whisper and say, hey, did you do your library runs today? So if you're a healer, if you're a DPS, big dick DPS, send me some mail, send me an ad, and we'll go from there.